I got into this race back in June, and the biggest reason I got in was to tell the truth. And to tell it in a completely unfiltered and unabashed way. Because I think that more than anything else, what our country needs right now is the truth. Not someone's interpretation of it, not somebody's spin on it, but we need the truth. No matter what these difficult issues are, you've got to tell the truth. And I'll make it easy for you. If someone asked me what the cause of the Civil War was, it's easy. It's slavery. And by the way, you don't have to take my word for that. When South Carolina passed its resolution to secede from the Union, the first reason they gave was the other states' resistance to allowing slavery to spread to the Western territories. So even if you're from the South, so you know these things, you should also know why your own home state seceded from the Union. And look, I think all of you, if you're objective about it, could look at the way I've conducted this race and say that I've been fair. I stood on the stage for the fourth debate, and Vivek Ramaswamy attacked Nikki Haley and said she didn't have the intellect of his 3-year-old son. And it wasn't the moderators who admonished him. It wasn't Ron DeSantis who admonished him. It wasn't even Nikki Haley that admonished him. I stood up and went after him because she's been my friend for 13 years. And one thing I can tell you about her is she's smart. And so for him to insult her intelligence, to me, that's not the way I was raised. And I knew my mother would be looking down from heaven and saying, Christopher, you were raised better. Stand up against somebody like that. So I've been really fair to Nikki, but let me say this, she's smart. And she didn't say it because she's a racist, because she's not. I know her well, and I don't believe Nikki has a racist bone in her body. But for purposes of this race, the reason she did it is just as bad, if not worse. And she get everybody concerned about her candidacy. She did it because she's unwilling to offend anyone by telling the truth. And so she isn't willing to say the same things about abortion in New Hampshire that she says in Iowa, because she doesn't want to offend people in Iowa who have a different feeling than people in New Hampshire. But then when she comes to New Hampshire, she doesn't want to offend them either. And she's unwilling to tell the truth about Donald Trump. She says he was the right president for the right time. She says that he should have been given a break after January 6th. She says that for some reason, chaos and drama follow him wherever he goes. This is like the arsonist saying, for some reason, burning buildings follow me wherever I go. Chaos and drama follow him because he creates it. And if you have any wonder about that, I urge all of you who are in this room and everyone who's watching tonight, go to his Christmas post on social media, where he said for anyone who disagrees with him, they can rot in hell. And then he said, Merry Christmas. Now, this to me is someone who is unfit to be president of the United States. And I have said it over and over and over again. And today, Nikki got asked a question by 9-year-old Adam. 9-year-old Adam today asked her if she was a flip-flopper on Donald Trump, and then asked her if she'd pardon him if she were president. So Nikki gave her typical answer on this, on Donald Trump. She said, well, the anti-Trumpers think I don't say enough bad things about him, and the pro-Trumpers say I don't say enough good things about him, and so I guess I'm just right where I'm supposed to be. No, you're not where you're supposed to be, because she is smart, and she knows what he did on January 6th was wrong. She's smart, and she knows that what he did on election night 2020, when he told the American people the election was stolen and he had no evidence to prove it, was wrong. And the reason I know she knows it is because she said it back then. But she won't say it now. And, you know, Ron DeSantis, who I have some disagreements with as well, but at least Ron DeSantis has been willing to stand up and say, under no circumstances will I accept the vice presidential nomination from Donald Trump. And I've stood up and said, and I will say again tonight, under no circumstances will I accept any job from Donald Trump. But Nikki Haley won't say it. When she's asked that question, you know what she says? I don't play for second. Now look, none of us would allow our children to get away with an answer like that. Did you do your homework? I always do my homework. How'd you do on that test? You know I'm an excellent student. These answers are insulting from our children. Yet somehow, New Hampshire is going to accept this from a candidate for president of the United States? See, because if she is unwilling to stand up and say that slavery is what caused the Civil War, because she's afraid of offending constituents in some other part of the country, if she's afraid to say that Donald Trump is unfit because she's afraid of offending people who support Donald Trump, and because maybe she harbors in the back of her mind being vice president or being Secretary of State, and since she won't deny it, we have to believe that she's willing to do it. If she's unwilling to stand up to that, what's going to happen when she's got to stand up to Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries in Congress? What's going to happen when she has to stand up to Vladimir Putin and President Xi in China? What's going to happen when she has to stand up against forces in our own party who want to drag this country deeper and deeper into anger and division and exhaustion? She's unwilling to stand up on this, on did slavery cause the Civil War? See, some parts of the media, they're missing the import of this. She's not a racist. It's worse in some respects when you want to be president. It's worse to be able to be dishonest with people. And that's what's happening here. She's holding back.